know it seems jerky, but I like writing. Actually, I like writing compositions in English. I like writing letters. I like writing you. I wanted to write letters to your mother because I knew you would see it. So it was like talking to you when you weren't there and when you couldn't interrupt. My father says everyone should write letters as much as they can. It's a dying art. He says letters are a way of presenting yourself in the best possible light to another person. I think that too. I think you sound too much like your father. But I'm not going to argue by mail. And anyway, skiing is too good. I'm sorry you broke your leg. Get well soon. Mummy says I broke it purposely because I am a self-destructive person and went down Whiteface Mountain without asking permission. All I know is I wish I had broken my arm instead, so I would have a good excuse not to write letters. I'm enclosing a picture I drew of the bedpan. I'm serious. Don't you love its shape? Andrew M. Ladd III accepts with pleasure the kind invitation of Mrs. R. Ferguson Brown for a dinner in honor of her granddaughter Melissa Gardner before the Children's Charity Ball. I'm writing this letter because I'm scared. If I called you up, I would start crying right on the telephone. I'm really mad at you, Andy. Don't you know that when you are invited to a dinner before a dance, to dance with the person giving it at least twice? And I don't mean my grandmother either. That's why they give dinner parties, so people get danced with. I notice you dance with Ginny Waters, but you never dance with me once. I just think it's rude, that's all. Straighten up and fly right, Andy. How do you expect to get anywhere in life if you are rude to women? Nuts to you, Andy. And that goes double on Sunday. I didn't dance with you because I have got a stretched groin. If you don't know what that means, just look it up sometime. I was going to tell you in person, but I got embarrassed. I stretched it playing hockey last week. The only reason I dance with Ginny Waters is she takes tiny steps. And you always make me do those big spins. And we could have gotten into serious trouble. I tried it out at home with my mother first, and it hurt like hell. That's why I didn't dance with you. I'm using a heating pad, and maybe we can dance next week at the junior assemblies. I don't believe that hockey stuff. I think Ginny Waters stretched your groin. And next time you cut it, I am going to stretch the other one. Ha! You obviously don't know what a groin is. You obviously don't know what a joke is. Dear Andy, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Guess what? I'm going to a psychiatrist now. My mother says it will do me a world of good. Don't tell anyone though. It's supposed to be a big secret. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I have a question, and will you please write the answer by mail? Because sometimes when you call, my mother listens on the telephone, and when she doesn't, my little brother does. Here is the question. Do you talk about sex with the psychiatrist? I talk about sex all the time. It's terribly expensive, but I think it's worth it. If I went to a psychiatrist, I would talk about you. Seriously, I would. I think about you quite often. Sometimes I think you just like me because I am richer than you are. Sometimes I really have that feeling. I think you like the pool and the elevator in my grandmother's house, and Simpson in his butler's coat, coming in with ginger ale and cookies on a silver tray. I think you like all that stuff, just as much as you like me. All I know is mother keeps saying you would make a good match. She says if I ever married you, I would be set up for life. But I think it's really just a physical attraction. That's why I like going into the elevator with you at your grandmother's that time. Want to try it again? And let me out of here. They shipped me to this nunnery. It is the end of the absolute world. We have to wear sappy midi blouses and learn posture in gym and speak French out loud in class. Et moi, mon chevalier. God, it's crappy here. All the girls squeal and shriek, and you can hear them barfing in the bathroom after the evening meal. We can only go to Hartford one day a week if we find a chaperone, and there are only 2 dances with boys a year. And if we are caught drinking even beer, it's wham bam on to the next train and home, which is worse. Could you come visit me sometime, Sunday afternoon? We can invite boys to tea from 4 to 6. There are all these biddies sitting around keeping watch. But if the weather is good, we could walk up and down the driveway before we have to sign in for evening prayers. They have made me room with this fat spoiled Cuban bitch who has 9 pairs of shoes, and all she does is lie on her bed and listen to Fenian's Rainbow. How are things in Glocamora? Who gives a shit how things are there? It's here where they are miserable. The walls of this cell are puke green, and you can't pin anything up except school banners and picture of your stupid family. What family? Am I supposed to sit and look at a picture of Hopper McPhail? Come save me, Andy, or at least write. Just so I hear a boy's voice, even on paper. Just got your letter. They shipped me off too. Last minute decision. Your mother told my mother it would do me good. She said I was a diamond in the rough. I'll write as soon as I am smoother. Dear Diamond, you too? Oh, I give up. Why do they keep pushing us together and then pulling us apart? I think we are all being brought up by a bunch of foolish farts. Now we'll have to write letters, which I hate. But don't let them smooth you out, Andy. I like the rough parts. In fact, sometimes I think you ought to be a little rougher. Love, me. I'm very sorry to be so late in replying, but I haven't had much time. I also have a lot of obligations. I have to write my parents once a week and 3 out of 4 grandparents separately once a month, and Minnie, our cook, who sent me a box of fudge. Plus I have all my schoolwork to do, including a composition once a week for English and another for history. My grandmother gave me a new Parker 51 and some writing paper with my name on it. And my father called the school long distance about it. I had to go up on the carpet in front of the rector and say I wasn't sick or anything. I was just working, and so I had to write my parents 3 pages to make up for the week I missed. So that's why I haven't written till now. School is going well, I guess. In school, we are studying the causes and results of the 30 Years' War. I think the Catholics caused it. In Latin, we are translating Cicero's orations against Catiline. How long, O Catiline, will you abuse our patience? When I get home, I'm going to try that on my little brother. In French, we have to sit and listen to Mr. Thatcher read out loud all the parts of the Andromache by Jean Racine. It is supposed to be a great masterpiece. But the class comes right after football practice, so it's a little hard to stay awake. In sacred studies, we have to compare and contrast all 4 Gospels. It's hard to believe they are talking about the same guy. In math, we are trying to factor with 2 unknowns. Sometimes I let X be me and Y be you, and you would be amazed how it comes out. My grades are pretty good. They post your weekly average outside study hall, and last week I got 91.7 overall. Not bad, eh? I got a letter from my grandfather telling me not to be first in my class because only the Jews are first. I wrote him and told him I wasn't first, but even if I was, there are no Jews here. We have a few Catholics, but they are not too smart really. I don't think you can be smart and Catholic at the same time. I was elected to the student council and am arguing for 3 things. I think we should have outside sports rather than keeping them all intramural. I think it would be better to play with Exeter than just play among ourselves. 2. I think we should have more than 1 dance a year. I think female companionship can be healthy occasionally, even for younger boys. And 3, I think we should only have to go to chapel once on Sunday think it's important to pray to be a better guy and all that. But if you have to do it all day long, it can get quite boring. And if you're boring to yourself, think how boring you must be to God. I'm playing left tackle on the third day. And I'll be playing hockey, of course, this winter. And I think I'll try rowing this spring, since I always tank at baseball. Now I have to memorize the last 5 lines of Paradise Lost. Hold it. Back in a little while there. That wasn't so hard. Maybe because it reminds me of you and me, sent away from home. I'll write it down for you. Some natural tears they dropped, but wiped them soon. The world was all before them, where to choose. Their place of rest and providence their guide. They hand in hand with wandering steps and slow, through Eden took their solitary way. There you are. I wrote that without looking at the book, and it's right too. Because I just checked, word by word. It's not bad, is it? In fact, it sounds great if you recite it in bathroom, when there is no one in the shower or taking a Love, Andy.